The room went silent as the tired-looking father stood at the entrance of the restaurant, holding his young son's hand while the hostess looked at him with cold judgment. What she didn't know was that the man she was refusing to seat was not a stranger, not a random customer, and not someone who deserved to be ignored. He was the heart behind the very restaurant where he was being treated like he didn't belong. His name was Michael Carter, a single father living in a small town outside Austin, Texas. For years, Michael had worked harder than most people ever knew. After losing his wife, Rachel, to a sudden illness, he became both a father and a provider overnight. Every morning, he packed his son Noah's lunch, helped him get ready for school, and then spent long hours managing the restaurant he had built from nothing. Michael's restaurant, the Golden Harvest, was not just a business. It was a dream he and Rachel had created together. They believed food had a special power. A warm meal could bring strangers together, comfort someone having a difficult day, and remind people that kindness still existed in the world. After Rachel passed away, Michael almost gave up. But every time he looked at Noah, he remembered the promise he made to his wife: he would give their son a life filled with love, honesty, and hope. Before we continue, if you believe kindness, second chances, and treating people with respect can change the world, take a moment to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder about compassion, and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring stories. Over the years, the Golden Harvest became one of the most respected restaurants in the area. Michael was known by many customers as a humble owner who often worked alongside his employees. He greeted guests personally, helped in the kitchen when needed, and made sure every customer felt valued. But after several years of success, Michael decided to step away from the daily routine for a while. He wanted to spend more time with Noah and allow his management team to handle operations. During that time, some new employees joined the staff. They knew Michael only as the owner's name on paperwork. They had never seen him washing dishes during a busy night, never watched him serve hundreds of customers during holidays, and never understood the sacrifices behind the restaurant's success. One rainy evening, Michael decided to surprise Noah with a special dinner at the restaurant. Noah had been working hard at school, and Michael wanted to celebrate his son's good grades. It was supposed to be a simple father and son night, a chance to create a happy memory. Michael arrived wearing a simple jacket and jeans after spending the day repairing things around the house. He wasn't dressed like a wealthy businessman because, to him, clothes never defined a person. He walked through the front doors holding Noah's hand, smiling as he saw the familiar lights and the place he had built. But things had changed. The hostess at the entrance was a young woman named Olivia Bennett. She looked at Michael and Noah and immediately assumed they were just another walk-in family hoping for a table during a busy evening. The restaurant was crowded, and reservations were filling up quickly. When Michael politely asked for a table for two, Olivia checked the system and told him there were no available spots. Michael looked around and noticed several empty tables near the window. He calmly explained that he knew the restaurant well and asked if they could make an exception. Instead of listening, Olivia became impatient. She told him those tables were reserved and suggested he come back another time. Her tone made Michael feel like he was a problem rather than a customer. Noah noticed his father's expression change. The young boy didn't understand everything happening, but he could feel the embarrassment. Michael had spent years teaching Noah to treat everyone with kindness, even when others didn't do the same. Michael didn't argue. He simply held his son's hand tighter and started walking toward the door. But before they could leave, something unexpected happened. A longtime employee named Grace Wilson, who had worked at the Golden Harvest since the first year it opened, saw Michael leaving. She immediately recognized him. Her face changed when she realized what had happened. Grace had watched Michael struggle in the early days. She remembered when he stayed overnight fixing broken equipment, when he used his own savings to pay employee salaries, and when he gave free meals to families who were going through difficult times. She knew the truth that others had forgotten. She quickly approached the front area, but Michael stopped her before she could say anything. He didn't want a scene. He didn't want revenge. He only wanted Noah to see that dignity mattered more than anger. However, Grace knew the staff needed to understand what had happened. She quietly informed the manager, Jonathan Reed, that the man who had just been turned away was Michael Carter, the owner and founder of the restaurant. The news spread through the staff within minutes. The same people who had ignored him suddenly realized their mistake. They understood that the person they judged by his clothes and appearance was the person responsible for their jobs, their opportunities, and the place they proudly worked in every day. Jonathan immediately went outside to apologize. He found Michael standing near the parking lot with Noah, watching the rain fall onto the street. The manager felt ashamed because he knew the restaurant had failed to live up to the values it was built on. Michael listened quietly. He accepted the apology, but he also explained that the problem was bigger than one mistake. He told them that every person who walks through those doors carries a story. Some people may look successful, while others may be struggling silently. But everyone deserves respect. Those words stayed with the staff. The following weeks brought a major change inside the Golden Harvest. Michael started training his employees again, not just on customer service, but on compassion. He reminded them that a restaurant was not only about food and money. It was about people. Olivia, the hostess who had turned him away, was especially affected by the experience. She admitted that she had judged Michael without knowing anything about him. Instead of firing her, Michael gave her a chance to learn and grow. That second chance changed her completely. Months later, the Golden Harvest became known not just for its meals but for its kindness. Customers began sharing stories about how the staff treated everyone with warmth and respect. Michael's dream of creating a place where people felt valued became stronger than ever. One evening, Michael sat by the window with Noah, looking at the restaurant filled with smiling families. He realized that the painful moment at the entrance had become a lesson that changed many lives. Sometimes, people are tested not by how they treat the powerful, but by how they treat those they believe have nothing to offer. If this story touched your heart and reminded you that kindness costs nothing but means everything, please support this video by liking, sharing, and subscribing. Your support helps these stories reach more people who need hope and inspiration. Before the story ends, comment "Kindness always matters" if you believe every person deserves respect, no matter their appearance, position, or circumstances. Michael Carter walked into his own restaurant that night expecting a simple dinner with his son. Instead, he received a painful reminder of how quickly people judge others. But through patience, forgiveness, and compassion, he turned that painful moment into a lesson that transformed everyone around him. Because sometimes, the people we overlook are the very people who have the biggest hearts. And sometimes, the greatest change begins with one simple act of kindness.